Good morning. This is your personal sensei for Friday, June 26th, 2015, and we'll give you some sound advice for the whole weekend. Well, today the sun is in Cancer, and so human beings are working on their emotional state of awareness. And you might have had some real high tides and heavy emotion the last few days. As I've been teaching, we've been looking at how we feel about things. Many human beings will actually procrastinate and not pay attention to their feelings until this time of the year. A lot of people will be trying to feel how they feel about things, but won't really sharpen until this time of the year. The good news is you will sharpen over the weekend. In fact, I'm coining this weekend as emotional maturing. We're all going to emotionally grow up. And it comes down to today's ruling step, which is I belong, step 4. Step 4 is the I belong consciousness. And this is what is also known as Aquarius, or the age of Aquarius consciousness. In fact, it is human beings' ignorance to the I belong consciousness that keeps human beings from living happy right now. It's actually what's in the way of serious joy. We don't have a lot of Aquarius awareness. The Aquarius awareness is the sense of whether or not you belong in a situation. It's just that simple. So when you walk down a dark alley and you go, uh-oh, something's wrong here, I don't belong here, that's your I belong state of awareness. There's literally something in you telling you you don't belong in this part of the matrix right now. Now, the force behind the I belong consciousness is our heart. This is why it is a highly sophisticated vibration, I belong. You have to first be in touch with your heart. You have to be in touch with your feelings. You have to protect yourself, and only then can you really know where you belong. Today, we are in our feelings, and we are searching for where we feel we belong. And not just today, but through the whole weekend and the first couple of days of next week, we will be feeling for where we belong. And you might be feeling for where you belong at work, for where you belong in the family, for where you belong in a neighborhood, for where you belong as far as with a lover, or where you belong in a marriage. I mean, this applies to anything, including where you belong in the room when someone's taking your picture. You always default to a certain belonging, and in that belonging is a dynamic of the heart and how the heart feels about everything, whether you're aware of it or not. Okay? So we are working on the I belong. We're working to feel different. And then today in your conscious cooking, I'm going to help you with just that. So remember, we are consciously cooking up a new reality. And because the sun is in Cancer, we are cooking up a new way of feeling. A new way of feeling about ourselves, a new way of feeling about our life, a new way of feeling about everything if we go that far with it, if we're willing to transform our soup that far. And yesterday, we were experimenting with flavors. So did you experiment with some flavors, some different beliefs? Like, how does it feel if you believe this? How does this belief feel? How does that belief feel? Yesterday was a big learning day, putting some things together, connecting to people, sharing and trading information. That was yesterday. Today, you're kind of sitting on all that information and you're going, what am I going to do with this? Where do I belong? What am I supposed to do with that information? Where does that information belong? Basically, this desire to sort. Now, this desire to find where things belong can create anxiety in people. I find that a lot of people who don't know where they belong get really uncomfortable in their own skin. In fact, Aquariuses are quite often very uncomfortable in their own skin because they are major innovators, and whenever they're hanging out in lower vibration, they are uncomfortable because they don't belong there. You know what I mean? And they're just like, so if an Aquarius is kind of jumping up around you, they probably don't belong where they are in that moment. You might want to set them free, not make them stay there. So we're starting with the broth of our emotion. That's the basis of our conscious soup, okay? And today we add the right ingredient. So as yesterday we were trying things to see how they tasted, now tomorrow, the next day, we're looking to add the right ingredient. The ingredient that belongs in our soup the most. So you might ask, well, how does one determine that ingredient? And the answer is love. All right? So what we have to do is we have to determine, out of all the flavors we have tried of feelings in the last few days, what feeling did you love the most? What feeling felt the most home? And if it wasn't presented to you in the last few days, okay, go back in time. What would you say? What type of feeling do you belong with the most? Ignore the circumstances. Ignore that it was temporary. Ignore what it cost. Ignore even who you were with, because that's not relevant. The point is you felt at home. You felt you belonged at this one place and in this one time. And that is the one ingredient we want to add to our soup. Whether we have recent evidence of it or we have to bring in evidence from a long time ago. Like, boy, that first marriage, man, I really belonged to that and I really blew it. And a lot of people will kick themselves for letting something like that go. If you manifested it once, you can manifest it again, and it will be completely different with new surprises, okay? But the way you get there, says Sensei to Sirius Joy, is you get real clear on what it feels like when you're in that situation, and how you feel like you belong there, and how your heart feels like you belong there. A lot of people, okay, who want to manifest things like winning the lottery and stuff, they're not really emotionally feeling like they belong there. They are still surprised by it, can't believe it, don't bring their heart to really say so. And so it is, says the universe. Now, if you pick the right steam, okay, if you pick the right flavor, the steam that comes off of the right flavor of your conscious soup is I think. It's a new way of thinking. So you'll say, I think this is it. I think I belong here. The mind is the next step, step 5, from belonging, step 4. So this is how consciousness builds. That's why I teach this Sirius Joy, how to build conscious, grow it up, your soul garden, all the way up to full blossom, right? So we're at the point of, well, where do we belong? And then you say, oh, I think I belong here. And then we go to step 6 is, yes, I do belong here. And then step 7, I sense I do. And then step 8 on Monday, which I'll get to. But don't worry about all that. That was a foreshadow. I just need you to pick right now where you belong. So, given that sense, we want to get to new thinking about our feelings. We want to think differently about where we belong. Your phrase of the day. Let's go into that real quick. Today, I feel my belonging, and I think I can get there. I feel my belonging, and I think I can get there. You see, by this, we actually go ahead and feel that belonging, and once we identify it, and we go ahead and tell the mind right away, okay, and not only do I think that's it, I'm going to go ahead and take it to step 6. I think I can get there. All right? So one more time to keep it in the mind for the whole weekend. I feel my belonging this weekend, and I think I can get there. And so it is, because I said so, I thought so. One thing I'll point out, I said I think I can get there, but not this weekend, okay, folks? You tell yourself we're getting there. We take this one conscious step at a time. Now, your soul assignment through the weekend, should you choose to accept it, is to choose one place in life you belong. So I belong in that penthouse. I belong married to a woman like that. I belong having kids like that. I belong, okay? So identify one belonging that you have this weekend, all right? And then come up with 3 ways it might happen. All right? So one belonging, 3 ways it can happen. And I'm going to give you one more thing to meditate on if you think about that. As you're going, I belong here, and it can happen this way, and this way, one more condition I challenge you on is to change the fuel in which it happens with each belonging. So in the first belonging, it's like, well, I can get there by winning the lottery. Okay, the fuel there was money. Now give me a different fuel. How will you get there a different way, from a different fuel? Okay, well, I can get there through love, someone's generous donation. Okay, yeah, that is a different fuel, and so on and so forth. So your soul assignment to the weekend, pick one place you belong, find 3 ways to get there, make sure they're each fueled a different way. I am just helping your mind stretch as your sensei, okay? Now, let's close this little journey here with your weekend's Joy Quest. Your Joy Quest, should you choose to accept it, my friend, is to open that magical door. Remember yesterday we said find the magical door? Well, don't worry if you haven't found it. You're still looking for belonging today. You're still going to get your mind on it. You're still going to go through that. So today through tomorrow, you'll still figure that out. But your Joy Quest, should you choose to accept it, is to open that door. When you see or find a place that you belong, like you go, I think this is the job I belong in. I think this is the relationship I belong in. I think this is the car I belong in. When you see that, open the door. Go look at that car. Go to the dealership. Go say hello to that person. Don't walk through the door, okay? Not till you talk to me on Monday. But open it and see what it feels like when it is open. Just take it in baby steps so we'll get there. So do not walk through, but open the magical door this weekend. And we come back on Monday, we'll continue this journey together. Why can't you find love? How long have you really been single? Really? Having trouble finding that special soulmate? I can solve this one. Secrets of Birthdays, now live for purchase. Your love trouble? Over. All that and more at secretsofbirthdays.com.